on pretty much every single defense, and every single defense it hasn't done too hot. So maybe Warriors can show us how it's done. Tongue, very good Ana player. Modern. Winston is definitely his best hero.
Alright. Well, what are we going to see here? I'm speechless, Smash. I'm speechless, which is really bad. I'm a play-by-play cast. I'm supposed to talk.
It takes a lot to take you to speechless too, doesn't it?
But,
now he's got the information. He knows where everything is, the setup is. And Sydney Drop Bears have chosen a DPS composition. No, they're swapping back and forth.
Oh!
Nine's being slept by Terry! Little Tongue!
Wake up!
It's hard to
Smash that E
one-shot
button.
though. Yeah, no, you didn't get it quick enough. That's what happens when you play from Korea. Can't get there quick enough.
Jeez, well, that's a better start for Warriors. You know, that's a bit of a confidence settler. Oh!
Certainly is, but Tongue getting knocked off the high ground. Dreamer's seen him.
I don't think that Sydney Drop Bears really want to commit to this just yet. Niang
yeah.
won't be in position. Yeah, this is looking a bit different to what we saw on Paris. This is totally
less
off
discipline.
from Sydney Drop Bears. I feel like their mojo has been broken a little bit.
Just need to settle the nerves a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, come on guys, it's not, you know, you're not done yet, right?
No.
Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Can't take the foot off the pedal just yet, otherwise Warriors is definitely going to be the team that can come back into a series like this.
They need to get the setup here though. They need to set up the Sombra, set up the Wrecking Ball to disrupt them, take them off the high ground and really punish them when they do leave the high ground. Leave one player vulnerable, they can dive on it. Winter's getting some good spam in, but the Warriors are going to go on the offense and Fluor's going to drop very quickly.
Yeah, that's not good to see at all for Sydney Drop Bears. They're just not getting any footholds, although that's a nice pick onto Modern.
They get a tick on the point too.
Rock Barrage will be available soon. Niang 77%, EMP is about to come online. It's all starting to come together for Sydney Drop Bears. It's taken a while, but we're getting there.
Certainly are, and we can see this Rocket Barrage coming very quickly if they can isolate Noz and find a hack on him. Jungle's going very low, he's anti-nated, and Husk goes very low too. This is becoming very difficult for the Warriors to get back into.
And it's onto the D.Va as well, which is really going to open the door for the Rocket Barrage, but Winter, he doesn't get anything done. Just the D-Mech onto Noz. That was the big power play that Sydney Drop Bears were looking for, and they haven't really pulled it off as they needed to. Modern's doing some pretty good work on Winston, just keeping them busy.
They will manage to res, and Huss is going to be on the long respawn, a hero that doesn't get back very fast. As Roro pops the rally, can he sustain through this? Fluoro's matched him with a Valk.
Good sleep on the Modern, but he's woken up straight away. Then the shield bash goes in as well. He's not being able to have too much success.
Another EMP from Niang.
It is indeed. He's built it very quickly indeed. This time hits 3 again onto Noz, who will subsequently be D-Mech, but we're just not seeing the same value out of these EMPs as we did on Paris and Ilios.
Tongue's been found and isolated, and he should go down here very quickly. Doesn't hit the sleep he needed to. He used it on Dreamer as Jungle's got beat, but I don't know if he's going to invest it here. He does get one peek in the fight, so this could be go time for him. It is.
It is indeed. Haas is going to try and charge this EMP up as quickly as possible. Roro swaps over onto Trey, so this is an absolute cluster of fun on the point for both of the teams. But it seems to be finally going the way of Sydney Drop Bears. A nice mid-air shot from Winter is going to make Jungle low enough that Shoyo can clip him with the mace. And we do get over the line in the end, but that was a struggle. It's like when I go for a run smash and I've got 500 meters to go and I'm just dying. I mean, Sydney Drop Bears, they're like me, they made it in the end, but they needed to sit down afterwards.
They definitely did need to sit down. Oh, it's got good ults going into the next phase though. They've got the Wrecking Ball ultimate and a nice barrage slam combination could be what the Doctor ordered here. Closing it on that EMP too, so they could throw the whole kitchen sink at this realistically. Us with his own EMP though. He's been outplayed a little bit by Niang so far in this series on the Sombra. Can he make up for it in the second half of the series? He gets a nice EMP. Winter's cooked here, mate.
Oh, he's getting some good heals. I mean, he's not cooked just yet. He's been marinated, but they haven't actually put him in the oven. And all of a sudden, Light turns back on its head. Niang's going to have an EMP here. Tongue's isolated, and he's going to die if any of these shots are able to connect. That was a good defense matrix. Great peel from Noz. But inevitably, Tongue does go down. Modern somehow catches Niang, which is actually really a big deal because EMP was about to come online for Sydney Drop Bears. That's a nice sleep. Will waste the end of the final rage at the very least. But Noz with the self-destruct.
He's turned on his head, but Shoyo isn't finished with this yet. He's gone rally, he's gone aggressive, he's going after his old teammate in Haas, doesn't manage to catch him. Dreamer swapped over to the Aristo, so he's not coming back too soon, but this has forced Warriors back.
Yeah, Payload still on the move.
Oh, Shoyo had red in his eyes there. He saw Haas and was like, you left me. Came straight after him.
I mean, it's been a bit messy from Sydney Drop Bears, but they are still making reasonable time.
They have EMP barrage into this fight, and this is going to be a big one. Noz, wait, he's body blocking him, Niang's body block. Oh, lovely, cute little play there.
That is absolute cyberbullying at its finest.
Certainly is. The Kraken uses the nano boost. Doesn't get much out of it though. As Noz is in the thing, but there comes the nano boosted EMP.
It's the EMP from Niang that connects onto quite a few Warriors players. Winter finally able to get his rocket barrage across, but then tagged by Huss's own EMP. It's a 2-for-2 trade, all things considered. Both the main tanks down. Brigitte's out of the picture as well. Sydney Drop Bears, though, are going to get the res across onto Shoya, which may prove to be hugely impactful here because Warriors are running out of players. One of them is Jungle, and what's he really going to do on his own on the point? Nothing. Caps there for Sydney Drop Bears. They've managed to point B.
Poor Winter was stuck on the ground for half that fight, but the rocket launcher still works when you're hacked. It's almost like a Junkrat when you're throwing them out. Dreamers swapped back over to the Orisa, so this is something they've liked to play so far. Their one tank Orisa composition, really anchoring around that with the Mercy and the Arno for the healing. Could be seeing that a bit more next patch, except with a Diva or a Roadhog. Maybe they're practicing. Maybe he's getting his Orisa practice in early. Nano Boost now is going to be the answer. Doesn't hit the sleep dart onto Huss.
This is such a nice angle for Winter. That's a very nice sound barrier, but Huss does die anyway, and now Modern's isolated. He's going to be killed by Niang, who's, by the way, built up another EMP, so this is going to get even worse for Warriors. Warriors are just getting absolutely wrecked. I don't know what to say, Smash. I feel like a broken record, but
they're crumbling.
It's just time and time again. You think, okay, Warriors might be back into this, but then Sydney Drop Bears are like, bam, see, mate.
Only the nano boosted invested from a Kraken there. Warriors, they invested their sound barrier, and Sydney Drop Bears, they managed to live, and Niang ended up getting the kills, getting the important hacks. He's been playing like an absolute monster this series.
Well, get ready for this EMP Rocket Barrage combo once again. Sydney Drop Bears are going to try and make it work, and this time it seems to have paid off. Modern will drop. It was a decent sleep dart through from Tung, but not early enough to save his main tank. And now with a minute 13 on the clock left, Sydney Drop Bears are making that one final push that they need to get onto point C, cap it out, and give themselves at least some time in the time bank to play with later on down the track. Noz, alive for quite a while, but does eventually fall. Now Modern with the Primal Rage is going to be a big problem to deal with, but sooner or later he will fall as well, and that is going to be the cap from Sydney Drop Bears, and they finish Numbani with a reasonable amount of time.
Big problem, but big hitbox, and Winter just laying those damage boosted rockets straight into him. He's just getting pummeled by everyone. He goes down so fast when that happens. 54 seconds on the clock for the Sydney Drop Bears on this map. Where have these guys been all season?
If you're Mind Freak right now, you're watching this game.
You're cheering. You are hollering, you are cheering, you're clapping.
Given Sydney Drop Bears as much support as possible.
You're dusting off the champagne, but you're not quite popping it yet.
In half a map's time, Mind Freak might be first seed. Confirmed first seed as well.
If you said that going into the season, I would have called you all sorts of names.
It's been a ridiculous season. It's been an absolutely ridiculous season.
Unbelievable season. But teams that work hard, they stay consistent, and they get the results.
I mean, who would have thought Order would have lost 2 series, Warriors would have lost 2 series, Mind Freak would have lost 2 series, and yet they're all up the top of the standing still. Like, how could you be a first-place team having lost 2 series?
Could we have 4 teams at 5-2 at the end of the day?
Yes, I mean, if Ground Zero wins.
Yeah, we could actually have 4 teams at 5-2. And then all separated by that map differential that we spoke about at the start of the season being so important. My lord.
What a nuts season of Overwatch Contenders we've seen in Australia.
Yeah, it's because I just came in, you know?
Yep, had to bring out the vest for young Smash.
Crazy season.
Silly season.
Certainly has been.
We were talking about Silly Sunday as well. This is another one.
This is the silliest Sunday by far.
Oh, maybe not yet. But if this goes the way of Sydney Drop Bears, then certainly. What kind of defense can they pose on point A?
Curious picks there. Jungle staying on the Symmetra for a little bit, but they are going to go over to that Winston 3-3. Niang has been really the difference maker on this Sombra, and Warriors aren't matching it this time, so he's going to have a lot of free reign. He's not going to have to worry about getting hacked from behind or getting hit by an EMP. He's going to have a lot of free space here to operate. As a Kraken. Position on the other side. He gets his Bionade eaten, actually, by Noz.
Yeah, really nice stuff there from Noz. Dreamer being chased down by Noz as well. That's a decent sleep dart, but in the end, Noz gets woken back up straight away. Sydney Drop Bears really hoping to prolong this fight. Niang can get his EMP. He's at 60% so far. Dreamer looking for Primal Rage as well. These are the big ults that we need to see come online so that Sydney Drop Bears can post a very strong defense on point A. Now Fluoro, the focus of fire, and he just gets overwhelmed. Great dive in from Modern, but still salvageable here for Sydney Drop Bears if they can make some magic happen. And there it is, a Kraken gets Roro. Shoyo copped a Bionade, however, and he'll be demeched as well. So that's another big loss from Sydney Drop Bears, but EMP is now online. Does Niang choose to invest? Primal Rage out from Modern. Same can be said from Dreamer. And it seems as though Niang is going to play that patience game with the EMP. Might even give up point A here.
Yeah, this Brig is going to get isolated and taken out too. Winter caught in a position he didn't really want to be. There is a recontest possibility for Sydney Drop Bears, but they're going to have to go fast. Dreamer doesn't have the ultimate, so they're choosing to just give it up. Hold in second street phase. Hold close. And they can get a decent fight win here. Noz is out of mech, and he's only halfway there. So if they're disciplined with their sightlines, then they could come in very quick here and take him out straight away.
High percentage play really from Sydney Drop Bears, but I just feel like they could have made that work. We'll never know. That said, EMP does persist on through to this streets phase.
There is some counterplay though. If us can get this grab out fast enough to shut them down, there's no follow-up on that EMP, they can still win this fight on the side of the Warriors. They send the nano boosted monkey in, he's causing all sorts of trouble. The grab only goes on to Shoyo though. Dreamer's still holding this. Oh, Dreamer's holding a nap actually.
Everyone's gone down on Sydney Drop Bears. Again, I mean, not really any attempt at the defense there from Sydney Drop Bears. I mean, they bled out a couple of the Warriors' ults. The only one that Sydney Drop Bears ended up using was their nano boost. But like Niang doesn't get an EMP across. Maybe he's being a little too patient here on Numbani. Sort of praised him for that on Paris, but...
And now he has to worry about the sound barrier from jungle. He needs to find this jungle sound Lucio again, force him out of the fight, and then make the decision if it's worth committing the EMP to get sound barriered or if he's holding it to strip the sound barrier off the team of the Warriors.
Oh, we're going up onto the high ground for the
He's
rest
seeing
of
jungle
Sydney
going to
Drop
that warfare too.
Comes the dive in from Sydney Drop Bears. Modern is trying to keep them isolated, but now self-destruct out from Shoyo. He's going to split them apart, and Haas, he got hacked as well. It was the EMP down from Niang. It didn't really hit too many Warriors players, but it's hit enough to give them the advantage going in. Still, it leaves the door open for the sound barrier from Jungle Jazz, and going to get a good one across. The rest of the Sydney Drop Bears, though, still looking relatively healthy. Even Dreamer, who had a nano boost, or a Bionade on top of him from his opposing team, able to keep himself fairly healthy. And now with Primal Rage coming up, it seems Sydney Drop Bears are going to be able to push Warriors away in more ways than one, maybe. Oz does just manage to get back on as his boosters fade away.
Us is closing in on this Graviton Surge, and that could be the fight win for the side of the Warriors, but Niang's taking out Modern, and now they look to retreat again.
Yep. Shoyo's up to self-destruct as well, 95%. So if push came to shove, he would be able to throw that one onto the point too. But this is some really good time being bought away from Warriors. Oz even gets staggered too.
That Niang EMP, it looked a bit rough because it only caught one player, but that player was Huss, who was relying on that self-shield on the high ground to survive the Shoyo Diva Bomb. He manages to identify Niang that he's going to get hit by that bomb if he doesn't use his shield. So he uses the EMP, and that's a 1 kill. And Zari is such an important part of this team composition on the side of the Warriors that kill's worth it.
And Niang's built another EMP up, so I mean, if you can get one out every fight, it doesn't matter if every single one is a 6-man EMP or not, as long as you get some kind of value. A 1-for-1, Husk goes down, he has got his grab out, but it looks to be actually enough for Warriors. I thought that there wasn't the follow-up. There is inevitably a couple of kills going the way of team in green. Both the supports off of the grab. Winter's just going to try and get out of there. I mean, again, you want to die on point here. You want to buy even crucial seconds, right?
As much time as you can. As Shoyo swapped off the Diva onto the Zarya. They're looking like they're going to change up now. The Reinhardt should come out from Dreamer, and Modern will match. Now, this is the hard part, though. Can they cap out the map, the Warriors? This is the part where you can get stalled forever and a day, it feels like. Sydney Drop Bears have some ultimates going into it, but they are at a disadvantage. Noz has that Diva Bomb.
And if Warriors cap it out, are they going to have time available for the attack? If they do, is it going to be enough to challenge what Sydney Drop Bears have got? I mean, 54 seconds is a reasonable time. Noz hanging on to this self-destruct, will end up throwing it in. Doesn't get a whole lot. The shield went up from Dreamer, and now we're running out of ultimates on the side of Warriors, where Sydney Drop Bears are starting to come online. Sound barrier so close for Fluoro, but maybe not even necessary here, as Dreamer is able to do so much work. He's been nano boosted and, well, booped into the wall. In fact, doesn't end up getting any kills there, but oh, they're all turned around. Modern had absolutely no idea. Sound barrier's down from jungle, but then so too is a Bionade from a Kraken. To be okay on the side of Warriors. Still, they're going to get outlasted in this fight. The sound barrier comes second from Sydney Drop Bears, and Warriors have to back away. Now, if that wasn't enough, then EMP's the icing on the cake. Sydney Drop Bears, even though they're not really getting any kills here, are forcing Warriors back and forcing them away. And also building their own ultimates back up here. Dreamer's at 43% already. Shoyo's got himself a Graviton Surge, and Rally's nearby for Sydney Drop Bears too. So, they're doing a really good job of cycling through these ults.
Oh, you can't afford to lose track of the Reinhardts like that. You know he has Shatter coming up. He's been doing so much damage in that corner. Modern loses track of him for 1 second. Dreamer darts around the corner and drops him. Tongue going low, but this is going to be a fight that Warriors have to win. If this is the fight, this has got to be the fight they win.
Shoyo's waiting for the grab, and maybe waiting too long. Just gets it out in time, but he's lost his team. Winter and Dreamer are down, and those are two key players in doing damage through the Graviton Surge. I don't know that Sydney Drop Bears are going to be able to hang on here. In fact, Warriors might finish Numbani with an even better time. Niang's at 99% of the EMP, but is it going to have an impact? Is he even going to get there? The answer is no.
I thought it was going to be so good for the side of Sydney Drop Bears, but the costly thing of losing the first point so fast meant that the rest of the map, they were always on the back foot, and when they didn't get the combo off on that second phase with the EMP and the Diva Bomb, it spelled trouble for them. But now now everything is to play for. Sydney Drop Bears, there's 25 seconds between them. They need to get this first attack, and it needs to be clean. They could seal the series here with a good attack. We saw on the previous attack they took a long time for them to set up with that Pharaoh composition. It took them almost what felt like an eternity to do anything. But when they did do it, they did it well. They're choosing to stick to their guns and go with it again. But they need to be cleaner on this execute. Niang can't afford to get caught by Tongue. We can't afford to see Dreamer get caught on the Wrecking Ball either.
Yeah.
Choosing the Orisa this time instead of the Wrecking Ball, so he's feeling like there might be an answer to the Wrecking Ball, which there is. There's some good CC on the side of the Warriors. Not the best damage, because there isn't that Discord Orb or the hack from the Sombra to disrupt it, so it could be a good Wrecking Ball point, but I prefer to see him on this Orisa. He's played a lot better on it.
Well, tense moments for Sydney Drop Bears and for Warriors. Warriors know that if they bungle this defense on point A, could be a long push in overtime for the Drop Bears. But at least Warriors probably have another fight worth of leeway based on the time bank that they had. That Sydney Drop Bears won't quite be able to take advantage of. It's really only one fight here for Sydney Drop Bears.
He's chosen the safer path in this time on Niang too with Shoyo. He's getting aggressed on actually. They're going very aggressive on the side of the Warriors, and might get punished for it. Dreamer's dropping low, but not low enough. Roro's been slept.
I mean, Niang's totally out of this fight. He was on the other side of the map. This is not a bad play from Warriors. They're fighting 5v6, and I mean, Niang gets there eventually, but he's so damn late. And now it's exactly what I'm talking about. Like Sydney Drop Bears, they really only have one proper attempt. Now they're going to have to swap off. We're probably going to see Dreamer go on to Wrecking Ball. 17 seconds to get back to the cap. I mean, it's going to be all a bit messy from here for the Drop Bears, and they haven't even touched the point yet.
Certainly could have been. Maybe the play from Niang there was just to cap the point out as they were going aggressive. Drag it back to a 5v5. As Dreamer's been blocked, he can't get back to the point.
Or what?
He's not going to get there at all.
Who got there? Someone got there.
Niang must have been in the back.
Didn't quite see it, but regardless, someone was on the point. Modern looks to dive on top of Fluoro, who leaps away to
But
safety.
he's left Winter. He's left Winter alone.
Yeah, nothing Winter can do there on his own. Need to see some big plays from Sydney Drop Bears. Modern goes low, but Primal Rage. Oh,
Off the point.
jeez, man.
What is it with the players today? They forgot where the point is. We've seen it in the previous series. They forget where the point is on the Paris, but you feel for the Sydney Drop Bears now. They just, at the last hurdle, they're falling, they're crumbling a little bit. Can they get a draw on this map and secure? That would secure the series win for them if they manage to keep the draw. What's going through your mind right now?
I mean, it's still a winnable series for Sydney Drop Bears, right? Even if they get the draw, they win the series. So
They win the series, yep.
the onus is there for Warriors to make something happen here. And I mean, with a minute 25, it's not a sure thing, right? If this was 3 minutes or maybe even 2.5 minutes, you'd be like, okay, Warriors are in a really good spot to finish this off. But 1 minute 25, that's only 1 or 2 wrongly executed fights from Warriors, and their series is over. So it's not like the pressure has gone, and even still, they're going to need to win the next map if they win here, Warriors. So
certainly still got their backs against the wall, the Warriors, but they showed on the defense to come up with some creative strategy to bypass the time bank, which was very well played by them. As you mentioned, they really isolated. They managed to time it, so Niang was behind them, scouting, and then they knew, and they went, and they got the 5v6 fight, they managed to clean it up. But a Kraken nade here could set things into motion for the series, for the Sydney Drop Bears. take a lot of time off the clock with this one fight win if Kraken can set it up. He's an experienced player, World Cup last year, went all the way to BlizzCon. Can he pull it out again?
And Niang pull out some magic as well. The Sombra. Oh, he
Beat
gets
it
heated
again!
really big, and a Kraken's under pressure here as well now. Without a Bionade, he needs some help. Let's heal back up. He's okay for now. Sydney Drop Bears looking fairly healthy, and in fact, actually, Roro very low. Still surviving for the moment.
Nade.
And the nade, as you... Oh my god, that was excellent. 3 players, Modern as well, connected. Does actually survive for the moment. The Dreamers pushing on forward. This is a disaster for Warriors, and this is where their series hopes start to fade away. Sure, they've got one more attempt, but look at it. Niang's at 73%, Dreamers at 82%. How do you win this fight as Warriors?
Huss is going to be going in with 78% on his ult, but he is going to have no energy, so it's going to be difficult for him to get that last little percent, and that could be the thing that seals the deal. If he can't get that percent up fast enough, and Niang's going to get some aggressive poke in here too. Might be able to get it just as Huss's shield fades. He's at 90. Don't get too greedy now, son. You've played well all day.
Yeah, just hit a good EMP. That's what he's thinking. Here comes the contest from Warriors. Sydney Drop Bears are going to have to make a huge mistake to drop it from here. Nano boost available for Kraken, Niang. EMP. Kraken's low, but he does heal himself back up with the Bionade. Now Nano Boost goes across from Dreamer, and here comes the push from Warriors. The same from Sydney Drop Bears as EMP was invested as well. But where are the kills coming from? They're nowhere. Shoyo finally with a self-destruct does make something happen for Sydney Drop Bears. Winter also gets Noz, and now it slowly starts to turn. The wheels are turning for Sydney Drop Bears, and they're falling off the cart for Warriors. Niang swaps over to the Doomfist. Roro's still alive and doing damage. Fluro needs to get this sound barrier out, and he needs it quickly. Does drop it in. That's going to allow Dreamer straight back into the fight, but what's coming next for Warriors? Where is the next ultimate? Where is the next kill? Can they make this happen?
It's going so close. Another big Bionade from a Kraken. Tongue might go down here. If he goes down, it's going to be excellent.
It is.
Dreaming gets 2 with the leap!
I can't believe it. Sydney Drop Bears, they're making it happen. Warriors, it's fading away, and unfortunately now, with only 3 players on the point, you fail to see a way in which they can turn this series around. It's going to be a draw on Numbani, which will mark a 2-0 for Sydney Drop Bears, and a series win for Sydney Drop Bears, and congratulations to Mind Freak after that result for taking first seed in Overwatch Contenders Australia. I don't know, man. Silly Sunday. It's
so silly. And Dario, he comes out clutch in the last game of the season, the regular season. He finally takes his time to shine. He must have got a little bit hurt that he was left out of the World Cup squad this year, but now he's showing, he's like, hey, I've still got it. I'm still a good Ana player, and he certainly is. Hitting 2 nades there to win 2 fights on the overtime.
Such a prolonged fight. I mean, Sydney Drop Bears, it was a near thing, right? They had every ultimate available to them. The EMP went in, the Primal Rage, the Nano Boost. And 9 times out of 10 off the back of that, you would see Sydney Drop Bears just clean win a fight.
Certainly, but the beat from Fluro managed to come out just in time for Dreamer to come back into the fight too. I thought when Jungle dropped his beat, they were going to have enough HP to sustain it and to go aggressive enough to finish off the fight, but Fluro manages to live long enough. Dreamer manages to kite back despite being anti-nated, and very well played from the side of the Sydney Drop Bears, and congratulations on coming alive, and now they're a force to be reckoned with going into playoffs.
Yeah, Warriors.
If people don't pay attention to this Niang Sombra and respect it, they're going to get punished very hard.
I mean, technically at this point, Warriors are still second seed. It depends on the results of tomorrow, but it's looking really, really disastrous for them. And that has got to be a tilter. I don't know what we're going to expect to see now on Rialto. I mean, they are going to be in all sorts, mentally speaking.
They're playing for second seed now, and they need to keep it. I mean, there is a big difference between second and third seed still. They need to keep the season alive as possible. As much as possible. There's still so much money up for grabs in the regular season that they can't afford to fall asleep here or let their emotions get the better of them. They can still keep out order and keep them on third seed if they just get a map win here and things go their way tomorrow.
Well, if they get a map win here, they would lose 3-1, which would mean they would be at a 6 differential. And Order at the moment are at 4. So, I don't know. I fail to see.
They'd be praying, but it's still possible.
You need a 3-1 victory for Order tomorrow over Melbourne Mavericks if Warriors win here in this final map. And I feel like a 3-1 victory for Order tomorrow is not, I mean, it's not a sure thing, but it's like you dot your I's and you cross your T's and you're like, well, it's probably good enough. right?
Yeah, after today, anything can happen. That Mavs roster, I mean, they
That's
have
true.
had more time now together to gel, so anything could happen. If Order fall asleep and they don't pay the proper respect to the Mavericks players, there are experience there that can
I mean,
take
that's
it
true, right? Order haven't been what they have in the past this season. The only really good result that they've had was last week against Warriors, which is still not quite enough to say, okay, they're back. Like, it is almost, but if then, you know, they come into tomorrow and they don't play too well against Melbourne Mavericks, yeah, again, it raises some concerns. Well, this is bad for Warriors, but maybe something still salvageable out of it if they do get a win on Rialto.
Certainly is, and Rialto is one of those maps we saw last series as well, that it can go either way. It can come down to the last fight situation. So often, the first point is so difficult to take. We saw both teams struggle to take the first point in the last series as well. So if they can keep their composure and they can really go back to this 3-3 composition, or even the 3 with the Sombra from Huss, they just need to get some momentum going into playoffs. They can't afford to give it all up now. Still got so much to play for with this one map. Could keep Order, make Order's task a lot more, more difficult. As they'd have to 4-0, I think, then if they ended up winning this map, or 3-1 as you said before. And
yeah,
it's easier to drop a map to the Melbourne Mavericks in the last game of the season if you're on the Order army.
That's my on-stream maths. You're right. That does bring back some interesting memories, that's for sure. I would have to go again and have a look at it more specifically later on down the track, tomorrow or tonight, and just to figure out exactly what Order need to do. But my assumption is that they need a 3-1 if this ends up being a 2-1.
I've just realised I was dangerously close to eating a shoe. Atletico won today as well.
Yeah,
I was dangerously
you
close.
were dangerously close.
Yeah.
Well, you've got it done, luckily for yourself. Order can't take first. That much is certain. They're not going to overtake Warriors, but they can overtake. They can overtake Warriors, so they can't overtake Mind Freak. They can overtake Warriors.
So thank you to the boys on Mind Freak for keeping my shoes safe.
You better give Sydney Drop Bears a big thanks as well for giving us such a fantastic series, and
certainly have.
It's made tomorrow all the more interesting. I'm so glad. I couldn't have written a better script.
Certainly couldn't have. As if Jungle going to go for this play. Winter's already knocked Roro off the map. Another disaster is starting. Modern's been slept too. He will get woken up. But oh, what an awful day for the Warriors. They looked so good all season. They stumbled last week, but now they're getting punished so hard.
Yeah, like, is today worse than last week? I guess in terms of the context, yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is because it's... You get that second chance and you've thrown it away, essentially. Husk goes very low.
It's really... it's not a fun time for Warriors, I'm sure. They've got a lot of prep to do heading into playoffs, that's for sure, but this is not even looking close so far on Rialto. It's been pretty easy for Sydney Drop Bears. They're just pushing forward, getting picks here and there, and that's enough to keep that payload moving.
Winter's closing on his barrage, but I don't even think he's going to need it. He's got so many picks this fight, and the card's moving so fast, he could hold it until this last fight. As Shoyo gets Noz as well. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, what's happening here?
I mean, we haven't seen a single fight yet, have we? It's just been Sydney Drop Bears pushing and pushing and pushing, and Warriors giving ground until they lose a pick, and then they're like, oh, well, we have to give it up now. We've got Rocket Barrage available for Winter. He's just going to pop that one straight down on the point. Somehow, Modern actually survives there.
Players are so split, and Huss is closing on this EMP, and that's going to be the thing that tries and saves them, I think. Niang's got his own, though. It's going to come down to a little stalemate now as players reroll. But it is Niang pulling the trigger first.
And EMP goes out, and Sydney Drop Bears are going to look to take the advantage of that, which they certainly will. Winter able to do some very good damage. No shield means no problem for that Pharah.
This composition from the side of Sydney Drop Bears, they played it a lot today. They played it on Numbani, they played it here now. It's been very, very good for them. They played it on the offense, I believe, of Paris even. They found their little niche. They found what strategy they wanted to use, and it's coming alive for them in this final game of the season for them. You think what could have been if they found this composition a little bit earlier?
Yeah.
Could mean a completely different season as Tusk comes in with the EMPs. Down a few.
Not having a fun time here, but Fortify's enough to keep him alive. Winter also, another Rocket Barrage has been built up here. When does he decide to unleash that? Noz is lurking with the defense matrix, so for now, he's just going to pepper his opponents. But when has this payload even stopped moving? I mean, Sydney Drop Bears do not seem to care that Warriors even exist at this point.
It's getting a speeding ticket at the moment. It's flying through the streets of Rialto. Husk goes very low. If he gets picked off here, it's going to be a big delay, but a Kraken with that nano boost onto Dreamer, plus the Fortify coming out before the EMP meant he was almost invincible. Huss not managing to catch those pesky support players holding so far back. And now Niang has his EMP and Winter has that barrage.
Waiting for the rocket barrage. Concussion blast does knock the defenders off of the high ground. See Coalescence out as well, and Sydney Drop Bears are just slowing the fight down. Huss has swapped off onto Widowmaker, and that has surprised Fluoro.
It's a very sharp Widowmaker Huss. You have to respect him every time he plays this hero. Niang commits the EMP 2 down.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. The sound barrier for Warriors is going to keep them fairly healthy.
They might want to swap off here. So after seeing the Widow, they might want to swap up the composition. Shoyu's moved over to the Brigitte. Will they swap over to the 3-3? Doesn't look like it. Maybe Winter will swap. No, they're staying strong. Curious MP from Niang. Probably the first time he's really missed the mark with that today. But he does force the beat drop out, and that means there are no defensive ultimates for the Warriors. So they're going to have to rely on Huss to get a headshot here. Rory swapped over to the Pharah as well. Compositions are getting a little bit silly on Sunday, as we haven't seen this composition out from the Warriors. They are holding the tanks to be the same as Huss dropping very low. The Kraken's already found jungle.
I don't know how that's happened at all, but anyway. Sydney Drop Bears continue their reign of terror against Warriors. Huss is trying to do something about it, but what kind of an angle is this, really? You're not seeing anything.
No, the sightline's just not good enough for Huss there. He couldn't really find an angle without getting spammed out. He couldn't go too aggressive either because his Jungle Jazz pocket was up in the sky with Roro. And he's been found sleeping, actually. A Kraken with a big sleep onto his former teammate. He's going to enjoy that.
The hack as well, just to be the icing on the cake.
Now Niang's closing in on that EMP. Huss is going to have the infra side, so he's going to be able to scout out where he's coming from this fight. So this is going to be a difficult fight for Niang to get anything really done with. If Huss is swapped over to the McCree, in fact. This is a very vulnerable hero pick. How is this going to work? Where are Warriors going to find that little bit of style for him?
I mean, they have to dig deep, and is that even potentially possible for them?
horse.
Dreamer goes flying up in the air. They say pigs can't fly, but maybe horses can. Winter dies and then subsequently gets revived. Dreamer is down. Rocket Barrage also being invested in. It's Winter. 3 kills! How does he get 3 kills? Noz was still alive. The defense matrix just did not come up in time, and unfortunately now Jungle is totally isolated.
And there's still an EMP from Niang to close out the fight. There is no defensive ult to answer it, and they're swapping over to the stall. The Mei, the trace of the ball, the call comes out. Is it going to be enough, though?
I don't know about that. EMP from Niang potentially will. He just gets punched in the face by Huss. Stitch that. But is it really going to matter for Sydney Drop Bears? They're cleanly wiping Warriors at this point. Modern, the last bastion of hope, really. Jungle won't last too long if he's have to be the one contesting the point.
Oh.
There you go, Sydney Drop Bears capping out Rialto with a huge time bank.
It is a big time bank. This map's so hard to cap, and this comp from the Drop Bears, it suits their team so well. It puts Winter onto that Pharah hero that he loves to play so much. It puts Flura onto the Mercy, something he was been playing for a long time before the Lucio meta came around.
Drop Bears rise up.
To play. Yeah, Drop Bears are rising up, that's for sure today. They've really come to play, and Warriors, I don't know what they were doing on that last point there. They had all sorts of composition. They had Huss playing a McCree, rolling around, flanking a bit. Maybe they've lost their marbles.
I could forgive them for that if it were the case.
Yeah, you certainly could, but at the same time, you got to worry for how that leads the team culture going into the playoffs, where the pressure really is on. That's it's knockout stages. You do not want to be in a bad mood when you're getting knocked out of a tournament.
Yeah. I mean, let's look at it from Warriors' perspective. If they drop to 3rd, they probably end up facing Atletico, which is
it's not a bad matchup for them still.
Like that's a really winnable match.
Yep.
The issue is going to become in semi-finals when they'll end up facing Order. If Order takes 2nd seed.
Yes, if Order takes 2nd seed, then yeah, there will be versus Order in the semis, and that's not something a blank/Warriors wants to do again. And
that's not something that this current Warriors that we're seeing right now is going to be able to overcome.
I think there's some ridiculous stat that Jordation is like 11-0 in maps versus Roro, so that's been a historic matchup that's gone very one-sided.
Actually not surprising, I guess, considering Kanga and Sydney Drop Bears at Melbourne Esports Open last year.
They won an extra map, they played an extra one.
They did, yeah.
I remember that, that was fun. And now Warriors, they've seemed to almost match the composition. Noz has chosen to play the Roadhog instead of the D.Va though, so he's flexing it up a bit. And they're trying to go 1 for 1. Another flying horse is spotted as Modern goes into the sky.
Not a good start again for Warriors. Niang on Widow, if he starts to really feel it. Take your mind back to King's Row a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
he was slamming everything.
Certainly worry some signs as Show gets demec'd as well. The Warriors, they're all over the place right now. Sydney Drop Bears looking awfully good as Dreamer gets hacked. Hooked in, sorry. So the answer from the Widowmaker might not be enough to stop this push.
No, Niang's going to definitely need another. Spotting out Huss at least, but that's a great shot. And Huss gets a Kraken as well. It seems like he's not too happy.
No, and I wouldn't want to be on the wrong end of a Huss beatdown. Widowmaker is very sharp. He's shown that consistently throughout the seasons. Niang's been spotted, got tagged by a Roro arrow, I believe, and now the contest for the Sydney Drop Bears is going to be very messy.
Under pressure from the Modern, the big monkey, as opposed to... Wait, that's Dreamer, actually. Well, he's also a big monkey, apparently, as he has the nano boost on top of the Winston. Big damage coming from that. Roro's looking for his Dragon Strike to cut the players in half of Sydney Drop Bears. This looks like a good one for mine. Not going to get any kills, but certainly going to provide some space for Warriors to do what they need to do. And that is push the cart through to point A. Really nice Dragon Strike there.
The Drop Bears have swapped it off now. They've got Niang back on the Sombra. The Winter on the Brigitte though, so they're not showing the Pharah comp that they played previously that have got them this far in the series. They are showing a bit more life in the series now, the Warriors. As the Kraken swaps over to Moira, so this is more of a death ball composition. They really want to be diving together, running as a six-man group and just really papagering onto people, as people say.
I'm not sure that anyone actually says that, Smash. That might just be you.
Definitely know a few people say it. Get back to you on that one.
Okay. Let me know.
Show's taken out Huss already, and this is the thing. If Huss gets run at here like this is very difficult for the team of the Warriors to peel and live for. They have nothing really to defend themselves against this six-man death ball composition.
Yeah, that's what you see there as well. Drop Bears have pushed Warriors back. EMP's online for Niang. I mean, there's so much online for Sydney Drop Bears. I'm not going to go down the list and read it, but...
If Warriors don't stop, this is where their push is going to end too, because this composition is played almost a direct counter into it.
I'm not so sure how winnable this one is for Warriors, to be quite honest with you. Niang's just waiting.
We could see him just hack the tanks and be good enough. I mean, there's nothing really to save him. Tung doesn't have the nano boost just yet.
Well, the MP does go out. It hits Modern and Noz, which is, I mean, not too bad, but not great. No real follow-up from Sydney Drop Bears. As a self-destruct is put on the floor from Shoyo. Again, nothing really comes from it. Roro takes the opportunity to throw Rocket Barrage in.
Shoyo's not going to let that one through though. He gets a defense matrix all the way through, and Sydney Drop Bears just kite back a little bit, but they'll re-engage soon with speed, and you don't want to be on the side of the Warriors when that happens, because Roro goes down straight away.
Oh, this is a nice plot for the Primal Rage, if it needs to even be invested by Dreamer, which seems to be probably contrary to the truth. Just dive out of there as Warriors. Dreamer continues to chase. Might even get Tung here. No. Bionade down, and has he overcommitted here? No. Has the help of his team. Doesn't even need to invest the Primal Rage, which is really good.
Certainly is, and this is going to buy more space for that EMP to build up, the Diva Bomb to build up on the side of Sydney Drop Bears, and those are key ults because they're hard to deal with. There's no support ults, as I mentioned, and Jungle and Roro can get caught in the sky by one good Diva Bomb.
One good Diva Bomb. Modern, what can he do here to turn around the fate of Warriors? Has indeed, but he's still alive somehow, and well, now that the anti has faded, Primal Rage, I mean, I suppose the hack probably more of an issue in that situation, but the hack definitely fading away, and now both the Primal Rages do come out. Winter's just like, come on, dude, get off my back. Great work from Modern, though. Good juggling. And all of a sudden, all the ults come out from Warriors. Roro with the Rocket Barrage gets 3, as he is wont to do. But a lot of time bought there for Sydney Drop Bears, and they'll be able to get another contest here before point B is capped.
But the problem comes where Huss now has this EMP and Noz has the Diva Bomb. There's no shield on the side of Sydney Drop Bears, but even if there was, it's going to get EMP'd out. Are they going to go for the contest? They will. Noz has just dropped it. He's just parked that. Choyo answers with his own, but that's just really to remake, and now the fight will go in favour of the Sydney Drop Bears for ultimates as the Kraken goes to try an anti-air.
He's hosing him down. It's actually Shoyo that ends up diving on top of Roro and Dreamer. That's not where you're supposed to go. Come on, mate.
Alright.
Hamster wheel isn't over on that side of the map.
certainly isn't. Hamsters don't really go well in water, apparently.
EMP from Niang, though, is good. It hits 5 players, and Sydney Drop Bears are going to push off of the back of that. Only a couple of kills. A teammate onto Noz. That's pretty good. Might as well be counted as a kill at this point, as there's no chance in hell that Noz is getting out of there.
So despite Dreamer's best efforts, they hold once more, and now it comes... Now the chess is going back the other way. Huss is going to get this EMP, and Fluoro is going to have to try and counter it with his beat. We saw Niang absolutely outplay Jungle earlier in the series with that combination. And Fluoro hold his nerve too.
34 seconds. Even now, like, Warriors are running out of time if they were to finish the map. Time bank is going to be an issue as well. Good swap from Sydney Drop Bears, great time. Get back to the point. EMP is going to be big here for Huss, but Fluoro waiting, hiding, doesn't get caught by the EMP and gets his sound barrier down onto 4 players. Doesn't quite touch a cracker, but that's okay. Seems like he is in no problem at all. That's a good beat to counter out the EMP. Huss died in the meanwhile as well. Has swapped over onto Doomfist to try and get back to the fight quicker, but I don't know if he's going to get there in time with Niang particularly having an EMP. That surely gets thrown in and connects onto 3 of the Warriors players, but only the kill coming 4 Warriors, in fact, as we see Shoyo and a Kraken falling. Jungle died somewhere in all of that, but actually, Warriors are starting to get an advantage in this fight. Dreamer can't connect the pin. Shatter cancelled, actually, in the end. I don't know that it would have made much of a difference.
No, it was a really ambitious Shatter there from Dreamer. I guess you're feeling it. You're in the last map of the day. But Huss's Doomfist came in and caused a lot of havoc. He didn't get hit by that EMP, or didn't really get punished by it if he did get hit by it. He managed to come in and turn the fight a little bit. Flew with a good sound barrier, but it wasn't enough to turn the fight. Now Niang, he needs this EMP to be big again. Noz can cancel it, or counter it, and so can Jungle. But he throws the bomb early.
Doesn't affect anyone on Sydney Drop Bears. All the shields come up in time. Shoyo somehow has found Tongue. Modern is totally isolated and being charged down by Shoyo. Dreamer would have connected the pin had Shoyo not finished him off earlier anyway.
Noz could get staggered here if he gets slept, but he doesn't look like he is. He's hacked, but he's slept. And this is, I reckon Dreamer's going to go for this long pin here.
Where do you long pin though? That's the issue.
I don't think he can long pin anywhere, but Sydney Drop Bears have such a good ultimate bank now, and they're holding him just outside of small. And Modern very aggressively charging.
And that is going to be the opening for Shoyo to say, oh, we're not interested in any door-to-door salesman. Shut the door in their face. In fact, a nano boost went through there as well from a Kraken. Very aggressive from Sydney Drop Bears. I mean, they do have a lot of ults to play with.
They can hold on these stairs too now. They know there's nothing to sneak past them to get onto this cart, and they have the EMP. It can drop straight into him. Dreamer the Ballerina can do those 360s off the top rope and get some big
oh, that was huge! It didn't connect onto anyone! What a massive boot from Roro! Is it enough to win them the fight though? Winter starts off nicely on Jungle. Sound barrier went down as well on both sides, and it seems better for Sydney Drop Bears. Theirs came out a little bit later. They're surviving through. They're sustaining through this fight quite nicely. Warriors are just fading away in front of Sydney Drop Bears. Dreamer swinging away with the hammer. It's just crazy watching from his perspective what's going on.
He builds his Shatter up very fast if he doesn't get punished here. Modern with a big Shatter comes in and knocks one down. Winter will go down, but a Kraken has that nano boost. Who will he choose to put it on?
Oh, I don't know that it really matters at this point for Sydney Drop Bears. Put it on anyone. Preferably not the guy that's sleeping on the floor, but in the end it does go to Dreamer, who was perhaps having quite nice dreams after having beaten Warriors in this series and perhaps also beating them down. This is going to be just a celebration charge from Dreamer, I'm sure. It's only a matter of time before Warriors fall on this payload, especially with that EMP thrown in.
Jungle drops the beat.
Jungle dropping the beat. I mean, have I called it too soon? It has happened before. Sydney Drop Bears really do like to have these long, overextended fights to clean up the map, don't they?
The nanoed Brigitte is in the mix, or the rallied Brigitte, I should say, is in the mix, and that is a very powerful hero to take off the card. The Diva Bomb comes through. It could be big. It doesn't. It gets blocked by Shoyo's bomb, and now he has a Graviton Surge to reply.
And it looks like a good Graviton Surge, too. This might finally be the nail in the coffin that we've been waiting for. That is going to be it. If it wasn't the Graviton Surge, Dreamer is mighty pleased, and Sydney Drop Bears will be as well, as they secure a 3-0 today. Warriors, what has happened in the last 2 weeks? 7 map losses in a row. I mean, a draw in there as well, but to not break it with a win at least anywhere in there has just totally ruined their season.
Throw the form book out the window, because this whole season has just been up and down, and at the end of tomorrow we can have the top 4 teams all on the same map. Oh, well, series score.
Yeah, that's insane to believe. Series has been going all over the place. Matches have been going all over the place, and I mean, this season has been all over the place. But Sydney Drop Bears, who would have thought that they would be the ones to put that nail in the coffin of Warriors? I mean, yeah, you might have expected it from a team like Order. But Sydney Drop Bears, who lost last week to Ground Zero, who only got a 2-1 win over Atletico, who lost 4-0 to Mind Freak and lost to Order as well.
They could have very nearly lost that Atletico series too. It was very close. I think
Yeah.
Hollywood saved them at the end of the day. They ended up having some massive hold or something along the lines there. I remember that series being very close. And wow, Sydney Drop Bears choosing the right time to come alive, that's for sure. Niang really earning his dollars now.
Yeah, can only imagine what the mentality is like now for Warriors going into playoffs, how they're feeling as a roster, you know. This might be a quit straight out of the TeamSpeak kind of a day.
Very well could be, but I mean, they should back themselves. They had such a great start to the season, and they looked so solid on everything but that last control. Oh, the escort map, sorry. That pole should have blocked that. But anyway, they look so solid all season. They should back each other because they can do it. They've shown time and time again they can take these series. They can win. They've all had great success individually, so they should back themselves, to back their coaching staff, and really, you know, come out to the end of the season, get into playoffs, and anything could happen.
Well, that might be the case for Sydney Drop Bears as well, you know, like where they end up from here, probably still 5th place. I don't think they can take 4th. But if they're in 5th, then, you know, they might face Ground Zero or something like that, which is starting to look like a much more winnable game for them than we might have thought a couple of weeks ago. And in fact, even last week, like, they lost to Ground Zero 3-1. So what does today's results say about Sydney Drop Bears? I do think they looked a little bit weaker towards the back end of the series.
Yeah.
It wasn't the demolition that we saw on Ilios and Paris. So Niang, he wasn't really able to keep that consistency up with the Sombra.
Yeah.
But if he can find that for a couple of maps, you know, remember, the playoff series are best of 5s. They're not best of 4s that go all 4 maps. It's if you get it done in 3, you're done, right?
Yeah.
So if you can keep it up quickly at the start of the series, maybe that's going to be where Sydney Drop Bears are going to be able to find something. There's so many storylines going into this season of playoffs, and I've got no idea where we're going to end up. I don't know which teams are going to make it to Melbourne Esports Open now.
Yeah, I don't know who I'm going to see there, actually. That's surprising. I mean, at the start of this season, before any game was played, we were like, all right, Order, they haven't changed their roster, they're looking good, they're going to demolish. They come up, they don't show up at all. Warriors take the mantle. Sydney Drop Bears, they drop off heavily. Ground Zero, they start rising up. And now we've got 4 teams that could potentially be dead even at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Smash, one more important thing for today. Let's talk about the Macca's play of the game. It's Warriors and Sydney Drop Bears, and the Macca's play of the game is going to go to Winter with 3K on the Farah.
Yeah, him and Niang set up so well today, as well as Dreamer with those halts, and that really set up the play, and he just popped off today, Winter. And I've been waiting so long to see him play this Farah, and he didn't let me down at all. Player named in the World Cup 12 for Australia today, and you can see why he's there.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest, that was a bit of a surprise for me, seeing Winter there. I guess also a surprise is, you know, we have to see how things are going to be going for that World Cup roster. But nonetheless, wishing them all the best, of course.
Of course.
Now we have to look towards tomorrow's matches